toast to the world, we're hitting first base. Marty Lurie with friends, home run. You know the ways and the trends, the stories all with the match of the block. It's Marty and friends. Marty and friends.
Boy, what a day to pick a pregame, huh? On YouTube. We're on a little early. We're going to come on at 4:15, and we anticipated a little bit more of a slugfest today between the Giants and the Nationals, but it was very one-sided. So I said, yeah, let's go on early, and well, if you're there, we can take comments. And this is one of those shows to hear from people who are listening and watching and get comments. But Eric, it's great to see you today. And for people who just ended up landing after a long flight from Europe and they didn't have a chance to hear the game, the Giants lost 8-0 to the Nationals and lose another series at home. They've played 18 series at home this year. They're 8-9-1. They have lost 9 home series, and this is a team that's lost 10 of their last 11 at home, and it's just unbelievable. They've gone 7-17 at home. Yeah.
Marty, I mean, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the 4th homestand in a row where they lost the series. It started with the Dodgers, right? Dodgers, Mets.
Well, come on. They're 1-8 against the Nationals, the Mets, and the Pirates, and they lost 2 or 3 to the White Sox. So the comments, we want comments today. JR 500, this team gave up. They're not playing with any heart. Well, you know, they're 59-59, and I think they know it. Mm-hmm. But the teams ahead of them keep losing. The Mets had a big lead today. I think 5-0, 6-0. And Milwaukee came back and walked it off with a home run in the 9th inning. So the Mets lose again. Mm-hmm. Eric, you just told me San Diego is losing to the Red Sox again today.
No, they're winning against the Red Sox.
Oh, they're winning again.
Yeah.
So I thought you said that they were losing. All right, so San Diego's going to pick up another game, more than likely, on the Giants for whatever that's worth. And Cincinnati ended up a slugfest with Pittsburgh, and they won 12-8. So let's see what people are saying. Anthony Merkovich, the eye tests, they're just not good. Well, and I'll say this again, and I've said it for a couple of months now. They're a team of 230 hitters. And at home, they're scoring 3.7 runs at home. That's 29th in baseball.
Not good.
The Mets and Giants are just horrible. That's Eddie F. Bake That Dough says you build a roster with average and mediocre players. That's the type of season you get. And everyone is right.
Mm-hmm.
And good. Our good friend Gary Mids from the New York Giants Preservation Society. What do you say? 2 games needed badly and horrible play, embarrassing after Friday's big win. Yeah, they got beat yesterday 4-2, and Brad Lord just shuts them down. And today they get shut out.
Oh, we got to tip our cap to Mackenzie Gore, right? I mean, the kid was out there dealing. He was hitting his corners, hitting his spots. His one strike. I mean, he was getting one strike right off the bat with almost every at bat. I mean, he was marvelous, right? He was great. And when you go up against a pitcher like that, you're kind of already down. And then, you know, what are you going to do when the guy is hitting both the inside and the outside, up and down? I mean, he was great.
Look, Mackenzie Gore is an all-star. And there's a reason why he was an all-star, because the guy was a fabulous pitcher. He went through a period, the end of July and August, where I said it on the pregame today, 10 innings, 28 hits and 22 runs and all that kind of stuff. And today he pitched like an all-star. He really did. The Giants couldn't touch him. No. And let's face it, they can't touch lefties. They're getting killed by lefties all year long. But they couldn't touch him today. Orange Man says, after all, we're only 4 back. We got hope still. Yeah, I mean, look, it's 44 more games to go. And the third wild card spot is still something that, it's a team that is not great. Is not great. And you hope the Giants can somehow get into the third wild card. Why not? So will the Mets hang on, for where they're going? Will Cincinnati hang on? Will St. Louis pass the Giants? It's still a race for those teams. As miserable as they are, it's still a race for those teams.
And this has been going on for quite a while, talking about Chapman. DJ says, time to start playing youngsters for next year. Give Chapman bench duty. And then Eddie F kind of chimes in and says, Casey at third and Cost at second. Give Chapman a day off. What do you make of the Chapman chatter?
Well, yeah, Chapman is, basically he's a streak player. We've known it all along. Yes. So what are you going to do? Put Schmidt back at third? Put Cost at second? Why not? You could do that. You could give Chapman a couple of days. Why not? It's this is August. Young players, sometimes they're the ones who carry in August. And yeah, you could do that. I think that's legitimate. He's been awful with runners in scoring position. He's striking out a lot. As someone said, look, it is only one game. It's one game.
Correct.
And what is the issue for me? Well, I think what I took out of this game today, and look, Gore was terrific, and let's forget about the hitting for just a second, because the hitting has been going on all year long, except for about the last 10 or 11 games. They got loose, and Devers and Adames and people. Jung-Hoo Lee, had some nice games. But it's the pitching. It's having Wisenhunt in this rotation, and you're praying that he's going to, get another start and do okay. Are you going to throw Tang on Wednesday against the Padres, for his second major league start? And Verlander, truthfully, for everybody, Verlander is a number 5 starter. He's a classic number 5 starter. Number 5 starter is the guy, when you get to him in the 5th spot, you hope that the one guy who's coming up next can pitch a complete game or give you 7 or 8 innings to save the bullpen. And the number 4 guy is not going to kill you, because with the number 5 guy, you're in for 3 or 4 innings in the bullpen. And that's Verlander. He's a true number 5. And yeah, he had a good fastball today. But his story all year long, when he gets killed, he can't command the breaking stuff. He can't.
No, he left that hanging. He left that stuff hanging, and they were not missing. And hey, great. The first inning comes out, gets 3 punch outs, sets, or I should say, achieves his 35th 100 strikeout, which is cool to see. But then after the second, he just didn't have it. And to your point, Marty, yeah, he's a 5th starter. He just and what's frustrating, Marty, is the strength of the team all year for the majority of the year was the pitching. Yeah. And now, as that is starting to fade away, now it's becoming a little bit different, because we got 3 holes in the starting rotation to a certain extent. You got Wisenhunt, whose last start wasn't exactly very well, and then Verlander has been Verlander, and then you got, as you said, Kai-Wei Tang, who usually has an opener that starts the game for him. So it's tough.
But you can't go 44 games like that.
No.
And that's, even though this still is fun, and, here come the Padres. And, like we said, the Giants are going to be, let's see, Padres have 52 losses, Giants now 50. That's 7 back of the Padres right now. So, you got 7 games with the Padres. Let's see what'll happen. They've got Darvish going. They got Cortez going. Maybe the Giants will do some damage because they got Webb and Ray. So in a couple of days here, we could be feeling a little better about everything. But ultimately, when they dealt Hicks and Harrison away, and all of a sudden Birdsong was in the minor leagues, they really got hurt with their pitching depth. And he didn't go out and get another pitcher. They decided, we'll go with what we have, and that's a Wisenhunt and Carson Seymour and that kind of stuff. So they stayed with Verlander as a 3 and didn't go out and get another guy, and now it's coming back to bite them. And I think has got to realize that he should have gotten another pitcher, if he really wants to compete. Someone brought up the Gilbert story. Is it coming?
There it is, Scott Warnick.
Yeah.
At least Gilbert looks good. He looks like a little leaguer. Did Posey even scout that scrub? Look at this guy, Scott Warnick.
Scott, it's okay. This is why we like doing the post game. It's cool. Scott, do you really feel that way? And Eric, what did you see from Gilbert?
I think the moment's a bit big for him. There's no doubt about it. He's a contact guy. And look, is he striking out all over the place? No, but he's also not making a whole lot of loud contact. He had a couple of balls today that were hit somewhat decently. But again, I mean, this kid, I say this on the show often, and I think you might agree. Jumping from AAA to the major leagues isn't easy, right? You're coming up. You're used to playing in these small fields. Now you're in these triple deckers. You got 40,000 fans, and and you're facing the best of the best. There's gonna be a learning curve there somewhere where he's gonna have to get that comfort level to a certain extent, and then maybe we'll see him do something.
Yeah, he's overmatched.
Yes.
And not horribly overmatched, but look, a real good lefty took care of him today.
Mm-hmm.
And then another lefty came in and punched him out late in the game too. And we see what they're throwing him. They're not throwing him fastballs to see if the rookie can hit the fastball. No, it's a lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of stuff on the outside corner for him. And they're beating him.
Yes.
They're just beating him. And unfortunately for him, this is life in the big leagues. He reminds me physically, I said it this morning, of the Rich Becker. Remember the outfielder, the chubby guy, he played for Minnesota, played for the A's, and he got moved around a lot. He's got that physical size of Becker. I don't know if he'll ever hit. I mean, it's not like he's coming up and he can't make contact at all. Right. He's making some contact. And he looks like he, has an idea how to play baseball.
Yeah. And what do you think about Buster or I don't know if it's Buster. We'll say Buster and Melvin are still throwing him out there, even against a left-hander pitching. So it's cool to see them giving him a run. Let's see what you get, because they kind of know what they got in McRae. They kind of know what they got in Matos. Let's see what this young kid can go. How long they run with him is a different story. But
they'll play him tomorrow against Darvish.
Ooh.
Because then you get Cortez the next day, a lefty, and then you probably get Pivetta, a righty, after that. Then you get Adrian Hauser, we'll see him during the Tampa series. He can't wait to pitch against the Giants. Tampa Bay's got him now. So, yeah, I'd let him play a little more. But, 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 3. He's 0 for 10, and he hasn't come close, really, to getting a hit. Has not come close. So it needs work, I would say that. I think I'd rather see McRae, truthfully, and let this kid be the fourth outfielder when if they need him, or send him back to Sacramento, let him play down there.
That's fair. And that's fair. And that's, again, right field's going to be a story, I think, in this offseason. How do you fix right field? Do you do it with free agency? Do you get a trade? Because right now, right field is just it's a mess.
Yeah,
it is. I love Dom Smith. I tell you what, every time I see Dom Smith play, the more that I like this guy. And I think the Giants are okay with first base, with him playing first base, alternating it with Devers. And then you can alternate, Dom Smith and Flores at the DH. I'm okay with that. There's nothing. I don't see a problem with Dom Smith being part of the team next year somewhere.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Eldridge here?
I don't know.
I know everyone, I mean, we watch this kid come up, and you see what happens. And I know Eldridge striking out a lot down there, but he does, look, James Wood strikes out a lot too.
He does.
He does. But James Wood, if you give him a pitch that he can hit, I mean, unfortunately, they gave him pitches. They threw slider after slider after slider, and finally threw James Wood a curve or something, a sinker, and he crushed it. Mm-hmm. Can Eldridge be worse than James Wood looks. He was 1 for 44 on breaking pitches.
Right.
James Wood, 1 for 44. And Eldridge reminds me of James Wood a little bit. So Washington, a team that stinks, they're not going anywhere. You know, Wood was a big touted prospect from San Diego. They brought him up and let him play, and he turned into an all-star. He's 25 and 75 and hitting 235 now. Maybe that's Eldridge. Maybe Eldridge could give you that.
Yeah, maybe. He's 20, and I've been saying I just want to see him be ready. I mean, yeah, if you want to see a look in September, okay, I guess maybe that's not so bad. But I want him to be ready to go because I'm afraid of how would he handle it. We don't know. I don't know. You know, we're not in his mind to know how he's going to handle when he comes up to the big leagues because he has a lot of strikeout stuff in his swing. Gilbert is a contact guy who doesn't strike out, and look at the difficult adjustment he's having with big league pitching. When Eldridge comes up again, he's even younger, has less experience, you know, as Gilbert. I don't know, man. I got a feeling that the major league pitching
really put him. I mean, because you got Devers here, you still have Flores here, and you got Dom Smith here. So there's no place to really put the guy. And you're not going to put him in right field at Oracle. I don't think you're going to do that to Eldridge. But the bat, if the bat is like James Wood, if it's like that, maybe the bat can play somewhere, you know, in the lineup.
Maybe
Devers, and I'll tell you this, and you know, Eddie F says, I just want more hitters hit above 260. I've been preaching that for months now. I said, you know, 230 hitters when the money's on the line act like 230 hitters. 280 hitter when the money's on the line, and you know, can do something. There are too many 230 hitters. And it's Schmidt, it's Bailey, it's Lee is 250 something. Chapman's 230 something. Adames is 230 something. You know, that's the problem. That's the problem. It is. This Eldridge thing, it's getting the Devers. You know, what worries me about Devers, and I've said this, you know, Devers, look, we saw him yesterday hit the heck out of the ball, right?
Yeah, that was a shot.
Smoked everything. Today, Gore ate him up. I mean, struck him out twice and got him on an easy ground ball to second. Then the last guy got him out on a ground ball to short. He worries me playing first. It's not that he doesn't want to or that he can't scoop a ball or something like that. He's so awkward at first. Every day he looks so awkward at certain plays. You can't get the guy hurt.
Correct. That I agree.
Get the guy hurt. If it takes a winter and if it takes spring training, if they want to work him like crazy and get JT Snow here and Will Clark here and Wotus and get everybody here to work with the guy, fine. But boy, I would not have this guy out there at first base for this rest of this season. I wouldn't. God forbid he gets his arm tangled up on a tag play at first. Or someone spikes him because his foot is on the bag. He doesn't know how to put his foot on the bag yet. Or he does one of those splits and does a hamstring like Pablo used to do.
Yeah, I remember that.
You don't need it. You don't need him at first base. You don't. It's not like you put him at first base and the guy's Babe Ruth. You know, he is hitting better. But that's just a function, I think, of him. I just think I would let the guy come off the bench and be the DH.
Be the DH and just have Dom Smith.
And let Dom Smith play. He
plays a heck of a first base. And I like his bat.
Yeah. Well, he's a professional hitter.
Right.
He's a 270, 280 hitter. He's, you know, you'll see with a rise tomorrow, you know, the way he hits. You know, he's a guy who can put the bat on the ball. That's the kind of hitter he is. So, yeah, you can put Dom Smith there. Casey Schmidt is, I love him. The bat is starting to come around. Jeff Young did a nice thing on Twitter yesterday. Remember Jeff Young? We had him on the show.
Jeff Young's great.
Yeah, he's out with his girlfriend taking a walk today. I said, hey, maybe you'd like to be on today. And I think he's taking a walk.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but he did a nice thing on Schmidt yesterday of everything he's done offensively. And I said, yeah, it's all true, except he's a third baseman playing second.
Right.
You know, and he doesn't have the range, with Adames, with his range, which is getting better. Adames looking good in the infield.
He's looking really good yesterday, right? He had a beautiful pick and a tag.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So maybe Schmidt back to third, give Chapman a rest. But who's your second baseman? Koss?
Mm-hmm. He plays a decent second base, and
not bad.
Yeah. His at-bats, he gives you good at-bats. He's not a complete zero when he's up there at the plate, right? He's come through with a few big hits, and he plays a decent second base.
Casey is coming around. This is Eddie F. said that. He's got a lot of hard hits. He almost hit a home run today, pulled it down the line.
Yeah, I saw that. And yesterday almost had a double, but unfortunately it just went right at a guy.
He looks different.
He does.
He looks different. And he's starting to, he's developing. Give him some more time. But maybe he should be playing a little bit more third base now.
Right now, right. Exactly.
Yeah, give Chapman a little bit of a break. That's not a bad idea.
No, it's not. And who knows, maybe his hand's still bothering him. I don't know, because he did a pretty good number on his hand when he folded it up underneath him when he's getting back to that bag. He's out for about a month. Could still be bothering, but to that point, he's always kind of been batting like this, right? He's streaky. Runners in scoring position all year has been a problem. I don't know what it is about that, Marty. It's really strange.
Well,
it's like
he doesn't hit the fastball.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit the fastball. And you've got to hit the fastball in the big leagues, and that's been his thing the last few years.
And the changeup's down. Oh,
you make a mistake to him, you throw the sinker, thigh high over the plate or on the outside corner, and he can do some damage when he's hot. But he just doesn't hit the fastball is the problem. No. So a couple of things. One, the pitching. That's the scary part of where the pitching's going. If Weisenhunt is not the guy, if Tang is not the guy, and Verlander is he's not going anywhere. They love Verlander, and he's got this 3,500 strikeouts, and there's 44 games to go. It's the middle of August. He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
Retire tomorrow. He's in the rotation, and the question is, why not give Carson Seymour a start?
They're out of order. They have no one else to go to. There's no other arms, and I mean, you're not going to go to Black, but I saw Black yesterday. His line was horrible. Blade Tidwell. Do we see Blade Tidwell come up here in the near future, Marty? Because
Blade Tidwell.
Blade Tidwell. Yeah.
Yes, I think we do see him come up. Look, they're driving Bivens into the ground.
Oh, they are.
I feel for the guy. He's pitched a lot of innings. He's had to eat it. Beck the same way. One of the two probably needs to go down to Sacramento or rest for an IL for 10 days. And if that's the case, just like you say, it's good to see Drew Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Just get to see what it looks like.
Right.
It's only a couple of games. It's only 3 games, but we're getting to see what he looks like. I think Tidwell's in the same position. Let's see what he looks like. We've seen Mason Black. Mm-hmm. We've seen, everyone that they have
Tristan
run up
Beck, right?
We've seen them all. Mm-hmm. And we got it. We understand. But we haven't seen this kid yet. And he is a AAA pitcher. So, I think, Eric, that's a good point. I would do that.
They're gonna have to find innings somewhere because, like you said, you keep going Kaiwei Tang. I don't know if that gets it done. All right, here, let's see a few more in here. In the
Daniel says Gilbert, he'd rather see Luciano. You think we're going to see Luciano here?
I don't.
What are you going to do with him?
Where are you going to put him? Look, he's got the power, but look at his batting. He strikes out. That's the story of today's game, and it drives me nuts, Marty. I can't stand the big power and the high strikeout. That just doesn't do it for me.
I know.
I don't know what you do.
Hey, Amber. Amber just said hello. Amber's
right.
talking. That's good. I'm glad Amber's there.
Right on.
Luciano's hitting below 230.
Yes.
In AAA.
Yes.
All right.
And has 20 bombs, right? I get it. But
at some point, you got to do something, right? With Luciano, this isn't like 50 years ago where you spent your whole career in AAA. where guys did that. When I grew up in the International League, guys would come down from the big leagues, or they'd play in the International League for 7 or 8 years and be okay about it.
Right.
Because there are only 16 teams and so many jobs. So you can't do that with Luciano. At some point, they either have to let Luciano play up here or move him.
Right. And maybe that's the move in the offseason. Maybe to decide to move him. I know. Well, you got the roster. It's going to expand, but it's a little bit ways away, right? We're not until September to get to put 2 more men on the road or in the lineup, so to speak. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who those guys would be. I would think it's probably going to be pitching, just for the simple fact that the pitching right now is to a certain extent leaking oil. They're gonna have to piece this together the rest of these 44 games, Marty. We're talking about Blade Tidwell, Kaiwei Tang. I like what he did his last appearance, but I don't know. I just don't know. Whisenhunt, and one thing about Whisenhunt, Marty, do you think maybe he's running up against it? This is the most he's ever thrown in his professional career. Maybe he's getting a little bit of fatigue setting in.
I think so. I think it's normal for pitchers in August to feel that way. I remember Lincecum in 2010 had a terrible August, and it was Roy Oswald had a talk with him. Somebody had a talk with him, and taught him about pacing yourself and all that. And then of course he came back. August is a time that's where you see crazy scores, because pitchers start to get lit up. They do get tired. Stroman, no.
Oh, no, Daniel, no.
No, I don't think that's for them. LD Freitas said what I just said. I read that book too, the Seals 46 to 57. There was a guy by the name of Dino Restelli, and he was from the San Francisco Seals, and he was a local guy. This is the late 40s, early 50s. He was a big power hitter for the Seals, and he eventually went up to the Pirates. And I think, and I had him on the show, and it breaks my heart. I can't find the interview. I saved somewhere. I can't find the tape, but he went up to the big leagues and for the Pirates, and he hit a few home runs early and then sort of settled down. But he came back to San Francisco and said, I can make as much money here in the PCL, and I don't have to buy another house or rent a house in Pittsburgh, and I can live here. And guys did that, and that's the point. In those years, veterans stayed in the AAA level and lived there, and they liked it.
And they made a living of being in AAA. Huh?
Yeah. So Luciano that's not the world he lives in today. But Dino Rosselli, you can look him up. He was a big favorite in San Francisco, and he played for the Pirates. And he came back and said, "I'm not going back. I like it here."
I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, there's another guy. It's totally escaped my mind. It's some news that was really surprising. Landon Roop looks like might be
good news.
And that's good news, because when you start hearing elbow and inflammation, those two words don't go well together. So it's nice.
Harry brought that up this morning. I forgot about Roop. And we'll see can he go 4 innings, 5 innings, and because he wasn't going that deep anyway. He was getting you to the 6th inning, 5th inning, 6th inning. Yeah, Landon Roop can help a lot.
Yes.
He can, but I don't know what's wrong with him. And if it's, if there's a lot of stress from the slider, from his curveball that he loves and everything else. So who knows what he's going to look like when he comes back. So we'll see.
And the last thing you want to do is, you don't want to blow up an elbow late in the year, because basically that's going to cost you almost 2 years, a year and a half worth of season, if you wind up blowing it up. So I'm guessing they're going to have kid gloves on for Roop. So, but again, I like what the kid was doing.
Daniel says, guessing Roop doesn't have a lot of innings left in the tank. Yeah, I would agree with that. It'd be good to see him out there, but I agree with that. By the way, I haven't mentioned it here. What's that, Eric? You can read that one.
Oh, yeah. G Mole. This is a lot of talk that we've been seeing in our YouTube chats. When a team plays like this consistently, there needs to be some accountability on the part of the coaching staff. Uninspired, complacent coaching is reelected in uninspired team efforts.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, we like him. Pat Burrell, But when you have a team that's 27th or 29th and all this stuff, and they're not getting better.
Correct.
They did go on this little run here. Now, if they went on a run for 50 games and got a playoff spot and, started scoring 5 runs a game and all that, like they had for 10 days, it could save them. But when this one is you got to play the 162 and see how it ends up. You can't make snap decisions now. But I would say the hitting has to be improved through the coaches.
Right. And then, and I don't think Buster Posey's not a guy that's going to make a knee-jerk reaction, right? And yes, we all see it. The hitting has been atrocious. And look, there's going to be scapegoats. That happens, right? Because you can't fire players. But you could get rid of coaches and such. And I've been saying for quite a while, to a certain extent, yes, you put it on the coaches, but the players got to go out there and execute as well, right? They can't go in the box with you.
But it's a philosophy of how to hit.
Right.
And
there you go.
No, it's let's use the whole field. Let's, watch the Blue Jays do it. You'll watch certain hitters do it. The Nats did it to some extent. They control the at-bat. When they get the pitch they want, they can deal with it and take it the other way. And that's what you got to see. The Giants don't do that. That's why they strike out so much, because they're trying to uppercut all the time. Someone brought up something about Jung-Hoo Lee's defense.
Oh, yeah,
and,
okay.
No, it was an interesting comment, and there's some numbers involved, and I don't know what those.
Let me take a look at it. Oh, there it is right here. Tommy Coates.
What do those numbers mean here? What is that?
God, what's the OAA? I can't remember. DRS is defensive run saved.
All right, Tommy, tell us more about this here.
If I'm not mistaken, I think DRS is how many runs you save with your defense. OAA, I think, is more about your range, I think. I could be wrong. Wrong, but I think that's what it is.
Well, what do you think? Do you think there's criticism of Lee's defense right now?
No, I think his defense has been fine. I haven't seen yesterday. He pulled a magic trick. Ramos is out there getting it. He throws his hands up, and thankfully Jung-Hoo Lee is just there and he just throws the glove out. It's
like the Pete Rose World Series thing.
Yeah.
When he got the pop up off the glove of Bob Boone.
Right. It bounced off and he just kind of reacted.
Yeah, he just happened to be, he was in the right place. I commend Lee for being in the right place at the right time. Yeah, outs above average. Okay, is that that's the OAA, outs above average?
Outs above, that's similar to defensive run save.
Yeah, I don't have. Do people have a problem with Lee's defense? I mean, he runs everything down.
He does. The only issue I would have had is I can't remember what series. I think it was here at home where he just didn't command. He wasn't being the general, so to speak.
Right.
He's got to be able to take control when he's the center fielder. So I'm thinking that is an issue that was at hand, but I haven't seen it lately.
Yeah, no, I think he's swinging the bat a little bit. There looked like some hope, and then he reverted back in this series. He struck out twice today and grounded out to second. And yesterday,
Gore was eating up Lee today at the plate. He had no chance.
If Mackenzie Gore pitches like that, he's an all-star.
Yes.
He pitched really, really well today.
He did.
He pitched really, really well.
Right. I mean, that's all you can
that's
all you can ask from your pitchers, to go out there and throw like that.
Dandini here. How about
what do we got here? Let's see.
He's got a problem with Ramos's defense. Is that it?
Oh, Rick Brown. The problem is Ramos. He calls it off and then backs off.
Yeah, the one above him, two above him. Dandini.
Two of them. I have a problem with Ramos. Yeah, that's a different story.
And not only that, it's in capitals.
Yeah. He ain't messing around.
Yeah, the defense, it's very shaky. What can I say? His defense is very shaky.
It is. And you think it maybe he just gets a little bit too excited? Maybe I don't know. It's just last year, right? Last year in the outfield, you didn't see he took some bad routes.
But he's got to play. the outfield.
Yes.
Because where are you going to put him? At DH, and then that means Devers is in the field. Then you're doing that. Ramos is look. Can you take him out of the leadoff spot? He swings at everything. The guy's swinging the bat.
He is.
Do they have a better leadoff hitter than him?
You've said it. Lee would be nice, but my gosh, I mean, he's got to be able to take a walk as well. I mean, and that's the thing, right? With Lee, you just want the guy to get on base. You want the guy to set the table for you so you can, the rest of your lineup can do some damage. Because as much as Devers is doing damage, there's no guys on sometimes ahead of him. And that's what makes it tough.
Yeah, I think just my feeling yesterday, Bailey did hit into the double play to end the game. And I just had that feeling if they could just get to Ramos.
Yes.
Just get to Ramos and then get to Devers. Devers was 4 for 4 yesterday with the 2 walks and, 2 hits, including the home run. I thought they could win the game. But Bailey hit into – Bailey is hopeless from the right from the right side. He is.
It's
just he can't hit right-handed. He just can't hit right-handed.
No, he can't. I mean, it's bad. I don't like watching him bat from the right. Every time it's just like, man, if he's able to do anything, there's a couple of times I think he's maybe he went to right field a couple of times with some key hits from the right. But for the most part, yeah, you don't like to see him bat. And Marty, is that something they may take a look at in the offseason? Is Bailey going to be the guy next year behind the plate? Or is that something maybe they have a discussion about?
I think there's a discussion.
Yeah.
I think you have the discussion. Look, he's so good. And I said this in May. I said, I don't care if the guy hits 200. And now I'm starting to get, the 200's bothering me. He's so good at framing and it's not taking the ball and making it a strike. It's the automatic base ball and strike system may change that to some degree. It's the pitches that are borderline that are strikes. He makes better strikes. So the umpire doesn't have to think about it.
Doesn't have to think about it, right.
Yeah, it's not like he's losing strikes on the corners. He's taking pitches on the corners that are strikes and making them look better. And that's pretty important.
It is.
The game. It's pretty important. But boy, that bat, on a team that has trouble scoring, he comes up a lot in situations where you need him.
Right. If he was on a team like, well, let's say Dodgers, I'm not going to say the Yankees. Yankees been, but teams that could hit, right? Then you could kind of hide his bat to a certain extent. But as you said, when the Giants are having so many difficulties trying to score runs, and you have a 0 out in right field, and it's just it makes it tough to keep throwing him out there as far as with his bat. And like you said, his glove is just so good. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of your prototypical backup catcher, right? Someone who's a great behind the dish and can't swing.
They have a guy, the Rodriguez kid. Now, I like Andrew Kinzer. I like saying his name. He's a nice-looking fellow. Swings the bat a little bit. He'll dribble one down the third baseline and get a hit here and there, take one to right field. There's Ollie Brown says, Tidwell today, 5 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, no runs. So that's good to hear about Tidwell. But why not have Rodriguez up here as the backup catcher to Bailey? Why not? The guy spent his time in AAA. He's shown he can hit AAA. And he is your acquisition, the major acquisition of the Duvall trade is this kid. You're not getting anything from the catching position offensively. Why not have this kid up here? I mean, what do we, they talk about.
You got Drew, right?
So they talk about DFAing Verlander and Flores and, making minor league deals, which it's not impossible. Maybe you could pick up another minor leaguer, but you're not going to get an impact minor leaguer.
Correct.
Really. You got to get someone who I think is not on the 40. Pretty much is the deal in August. But hey, Rodriguez is there. He's in the organization. Why not? Does anyone have a comment on that?
Let's take a look here. Tim Schmidt talking about. I know what he's talking about. Von Brown, or not Von Brown. Andrew Vaughn. It says Rick Brown says he's not even catching in AAA. He's DHing.
Well, they ought to put him behind the plate.
Right. JB says that the agonizing thing about this team is that fans are having to continuously ask the question, why?
Why what?
I'm guessing. I'm guessing the coaching, the hitting. JB, please be a little bit more explanative in what you're trying to do.
Explanation. Appreciate it. Dondini, Tidwell is better than Verlander. Well, it may not be Verlander's. Verlander is a fifth starter. You can kind of deal with it. Is Tidwell better than Tang? Now, what sort of messages? I mean, Tang comes up through the system. Remember, he came over in the trade, I think when Wade came over. It was the Sean Anderson trade. I think that got Tang over here. He was with Minnesota. And my friend Mike Quaddy was in the Minnesota organization then. And he told me, he said, this is a big kid. He was in low A ball or A ball. He said, but he can pitch. And he's worked his way up through the Giants system. You know, this goes back to when Lamont Wade, that trade. So can you tell Tang, hey, you pitched one good game, thank you, you're now DFA'd? You can't do that. I think they're going to have to ride with Tang and Wisenhunt a little bit until either one is so bad that it's going to force another move.
Okay, and that's fair, Marty, because that seems to be what Buster Posey does. Buster Posey seems to give these guys some run, and then let's see what they do. And unless the wheels are falling off, as you said, Marty, you run with your guy. You just go with your guys and see what you got. And to a certain extent, right? Isn't Buster Posey kind of seeing what he has in the organization? He's getting into the minor leagues, seeing, hey, there you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Just got a delivery of French fries.
Yeah, buddy. Nothing wrong with that. And let's see. Maybe that's what Buster Posey's doing. Look, because Gilbert has leapfrogged Matos and McRae. He wants to see what this kid can do. Maybe you do that, as you said. Maybe you do that with Jesus Rodriguez behind a dish and just get some at-bats from him.
Why not?
Right.
Why not?
And we're seeing what Wisenhunt has.
I guess the San Diego series here and Tampa Bay, we'll see next Monday. After this coming week, maybe things will happen next Monday before they go on the road. But do you bring guys up into a road trip like that? 4 in San Diego and 3 in Milwaukee. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Seriously, that's a scary, scary road trip. Yeah, they better. You know, they don't win at home. They're 1-10, 7-17 at home. Since the break, they're 7-14 overall. Against the East, which has Atlanta, the Marlins, and Nationals, they're 16-15. You know, and you know, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts for Gore today. 3-3 against Washington. Now, these are just notes that in August they're now 5-4. I think in August, something like that. So Giants are done. Bring up Eldridge now. Somebody says that. But we're talking. Oh, that's his name.
That's his name. Yeah, once that Bryce Eldridge.
Well, we've seen Luciano so many times up here. I would love to see him traded.
Yeah, trade him.
Like Joey Bart. Look, Joey Bart's no picnic. Joey Bart's swing is still like a rusty gate, isn't it?
Yeah.
He makes some contact now, and he hooked the slider and beat the Giants. You know, he did on Rodriguez. He did do that, but he's got no power. I think he's had 1 home run this year.
1 home run.
But they gave him a new life with a new team, and that's probably Luciano.
That's probably, and honestly, I'm surprised they didn't move him during the trade deadline just to get something back. Lamac 425, Bailey's defense honeymoon praise is over. I need a hit. Yes.
People, somebody pointed out 40,000 today.
Yeah. Looked like a beautiful day in the Bay.
This is why they're not crazy making moves and doing things. People are showing up. They're showing up because you know why? Today was a bad game. 8-0. Yeah, how many games do you see there? They've played, I think, 72 1 or 2 run games out of 118. That's a lot. That's a lot of games, and fans like them. Even though they're 1-10 at home, they're still drawing 40,000 because they stay in the game.
Right.
And they have all these walk-offs and, things happen late in the game. So I think that has a lot to do with it. What does Fish want to do here?
Fish, here we go. I've seen a lot of this talk too. Is it time to seriously consider changing the dimensions of the ballpark, specifically Triples Alley? This team doesn't even hit triples, and that wall is brutal. We won 3 World Series with the way that the ballpark has been designed. Don't forget. Look, we're in the doldrums right now, but let's let Buster Posey get some work done. He'll bring in guys that are going to be able to hit in this ballpark. Don't forget the success that the Giants have had in the past. I don't understand. For me, I don't understand. I get it because when you hit it out to 415 and it winds up turning into an out, I get it. It's frustrating.
Right. It's a quirk. Look, the Yankees were a team that won World Series after World Series in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the early 60s. Did you ever look at the dimensions of Yankee Stadium?
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Right.
Right center field, 457. Dead center, 480, something like that.
Left center was
422. Come on. And they had teams that could win because right field was short. Maris at 61, and there were line drives into the seats and right. It was 300 down the line. Left field was down the line short, but then it went crazy out. And you develop players that can play in that park.
Yes.
That's what the Giants have to do.
Right.
Not home run hitters. They don't need home run. They need Dom Smith hitters.
Correct. Correct. And that's the thing. Buster Posey is going to get the guys he knows. He was all part of the World Championship years. So he knows what is going to play to this park. You just got to look. He's only been in this position for 10 months. Let's let him get a few off seasons and trade deadlines and drafts underneath his belt and see what he could do. I don't think you have to change the dimensions of the park. Again, the Giants have had success.
Look, the 391 is a big help to guys hitting home runs here. It's a big help.
Right, from 399 to 391.
Yeah, because Lee goes back and, these guys crash into the wall at 391. 5 years ago, they was coasting and just putting it in their back pocket. The 391 is a huge difference in that part of the ballpark. And look, if you hit it in the gap, you get a triple.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. You hit it down the right field line. If the guy's already in the gap, you may get an easy double. If he's playing you in right field straight up and you hit it off the wall, you're being held to a single. It's a quirk of the park.
It is. Correct. And that's the thing. It's just like I'm not a guy that just wants to see home runs all over the place. I'm not. I want to see baseball. Yes, home run is part of baseball, but there's nothing wrong with seeing a double and a single and seeing the line move and just seeing
putting
some
the
excitement.
Ball in play.
Yes.
Putting the ball in play is a big deal. I want to mention, because I know people are listening, Ron Wotus and I are going to be in Yountville on Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Mo and I are going to do our show at the Priest Ranch Wine Tasting Room. So if you go to priestranchwines.com, you can buy a ticket. And it'd be nice to see people who, up in that area. And we've done this every year, for about 5 or 6 years. It's really fun. We have a good time, great interaction with the fans. And Will was a storyteller. And he really does a nice job, and we have fun together. So if you're in the area Wednesday, go to priestranchwines.com and check it out. And you can buy a ticket. You get a glass of wine, and you can buy the little hors d'oeuvres from their restaurant next door, and it's a lot of fun. So it's good. So I want to lay that out to everybody. Maybe some people from this show would come out there. I'd love to have you come out.
Yeah, that'd be great. Again, guys, if you guys are there
this is good.
If you're in the Yountville area, somewhere around there, yeah, go take a drive and go listen to some great baseball talk.
Eric, I was hoping you would come over.
That's the plan. Yeah, I want to get up there on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, Eric will be there. How about that? That's even better than me and Woe. Get to see Eric.
Yeah.
That's good. All right.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I always want to hear some baseball talk. That's good stuff.
Do we have any of our spots queued up that we could play?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's take a couple of minute break here and let's play a couple of spots.
Here we go.
Fans, joining us is Grant Power, President and CEO of Nations. Grant, last year we talked about the amazing breakfast at Nations. I'm going to ask you this. What's your favorite lunch?
I'm pretty split. I guess I'm kind of like a pitcher who has two favorite pitches they like leaning on. I'd say half the time I do the hamburger and half the time I do the wild salmon burger. It really depends on which protein you want. We love our beef supplier in Northern California. We've been with them for decades. We test our beef all the time. We sell ocean-caught wild salmon. Friends don't let friends eat farm salmon. It's absolutely delicious. To mix it up, I guess it's like a pitcher who has a two-seamer and a four-seamer, or maybe a four-seamer and a cutter. I actually go grilled onions on my hamburger half the time and raw onions the other half. Today at lunch, I got the French fries, but half the time I get the onion rings, and I had a wonderful slice of pecan pie. There's something for everybody, whether you like hot dogs or grilled cheese. It's really up to the individual what mood they're in, but my go-to is either the beef with the hamburger or the wild salmon, which is absolutely delicious.
Wow. I love it. Grant Power, President, CEO of Nations. Grant, thanks so much.
Pleasure being on.
Fans, great news. If you enjoy Original Joe's, there's a new Original Joe's coming to Walnut Creek, opening late May, early June. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It is going to be fabulous. 300 seats, 13,000 square feet, 3 outdoor patios with 90 outside seats, a full exhibition counter and cocktail lounge. That's the best. And the cocktail lounge will have a multitude of TVs to watch the Giants and the dreaded A's if you want to. It's the first opening of an Original Joe's in 70 years in a new market, and this is really going to be something. 9 years since opening in Westlake, so this is going to be fabulous. It will have a private dining room with accommodations up to 40 people, with its own private bar and patio. It fits Walnut Creek like a glove. This is going to be something else. I can't wait to do some events at the new Original Joe's in Walnut Creek, coming late May, early June.
All right. Well, it is open.
It's open now.
They're doing the soft open this weekend, but Thursday, the 14th, it's going to open.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah, and we do the contest so you can win dinner for two at Original Joe's. You have to guess the score every Sunday. And one of the winners, Raph Picks, gets to go to the one in Walnut Creek, which is really going to be nice.
Oh, nice. Get to go to the brand new one.
Question: Original Joe's related to Trader Joe? No, not at all. They were traded for each other. Just a couple of Joes. Let's put it that way.
Oh, look at this. LD, he's going back in time here. It says, it seems like the old CBS game of the week back in the early 60s. When was televising games somewhere else when the Yankees were not home, but if home, they were on TV.
Well, CBS owned the Yankees
in
the mid '60s when they were sold to CBS. That's how Mike Burke got involved, and then eventually Steinbrenner bought the team.
Well, there you go.
But CBS actually, can you imagine that the TV network owned the Yankees? Well, that's happened, I guess. The Braves, TBS, I think, was involved with the Braves doing that.
WGN did the WGN? No, WGN had nothing to do with the Cubs, right? They just covered them.
No, they just carried the game. Yeah. So all in all, today, it was too much Mackenzie Gore.
It was. I mean, the guy just came out and dealt. I mean, look, he I don't think he even got to 100 pitches and was able to go 6. And the guy was good. He kept the Giants off balance. Lots of I think all of his strikeouts were swinging strikes, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm looking at my scorecard. You know something? You are, unless I missed one, you're right.
I mean, that tells you he's got the stuff. If you're out there swinging at that cult or at strike threes, sometimes you just run into a guy that just is on it, and you just got no chance. And it just makes and what it does is it makes the team look even worse. We already know the Giants have issues with hitting. They've been hitting lately, right? The road trip, they were great. They came back on the first game against Nationals. They look great. Now the last two games, they softened up a bit, but it highlights the woes of the Giants already. So it to a certain extent, yes, the Giants don't hit, but you also can't ignore just Mackenzie Gore's performance.
No, and this was not like a mediocre pitcher. The Giants were just looking terrible. This was a guy who actually put the ball on the corners.
Mm-hmm.
He really, really, really pitched well. This was good today. How about this one? Go ahead.
Yeah, bake that dough. Aaron, what's up? Donates $2. Top Martyism. How about that? He can hit and write, Raph.
Yeah, it's good. Raph is doing a show tonight. He's somewhere up in the Solano area. His group is part of the whole festival. Something's going on up there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is he going to be up there at Yountville? Because that's kind of in that neighborhood.
No, he's working. His group is playing. His band is playing up there. So that's what's going on with him. What do you think's going to happen in this Padres series? What do you think?
We got our best pitchers going. You got Webb and Ray. Both of them not quite. They're still good. I'm not going to say that, but you could tell they're a little bit more gettable. But if they come out and they take care of business, I kind of like the chances. I mean, who are the Giants going to go up against? That's the thing. I got to look at the schedule here to see who do they face in that first meeting tomorrow night.
It's Darvish tomorrow.
Darvish.
Yeah, it's Darvish, then it's Nelson Cortez, and then probably Pivetta on Wednesday.
Okay. See, I like I always say this. I like the first two games. Darvish isn't anything to write home about. He's got a 60
the bullpen, Eric. They got Mason Miller. There's Morihone. They got Estrada.
Estrada's good.
They got, was it Adam?
Yeah.
Adam.
Adam gave him some trouble.
And then they go to Suarez, who blew the save last night. But they can go to the bullpen in the fifth inning and sixth inning and get guys who can get you out.
Mm.
They don't really have a middle relief. You say, oh, good, we're in their middle relief. They start the parade in the fifth or sixth inning with the good guys.
You're right. Matter of fact, I was going to look to see, did the Red Sox get to their pin? I'm going to have to just look at their box score. Who pitched for there's San Diego? Cease went 6. Okay. Cease went 6, so the bullpen didn't have to get work.
Who came in after Cease?
That was Adam, then Morihone, and then Morgan closed it out.
Oh, so they used they used Morihone and Adam today.
Yes,
they're pretty deep.
They are.
They're pretty deep, and they've got Mason Miller, who the Giants have seen.
Mm-hmm.
He throws the 100, 200, 3, and then he throws a slider and all that stuff. So, it's going to be a tough series. The question is, how many can you score off Darvish?
Right, before you get
into the bullpen. And then, Webb and Ray, and I said this on the show last week, take it easy with those guys. They don't have to throw 110 pitches. If they have a lead, get them out. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, because, as I said, there's 44 more to go. It's the middle of August. You want them to be really healthy, but let's face it, they got to win every game. And if it means an extra inning for Ray or Webb, then that's the way they've got to manage it. But both of them, to me, look like they're laboring just a little bit.
Right,
which is
they are.
For August, right? It's normal.
Mm-hmm. Right. Dog days. They don't call it the dog days for nothing. But like you said, I think they could get to Darvish. I think they can. Nestor Cortez, even though he's horrible, but he's a lefty. And that's a problem. It doesn't matter how bad the lefty is. The Giants just seem to have issues against them. And
Well, you think with Ramos and Devers can hit he can hit a lefty. It's not like he's it's Devers, Adames, Flores, Chapman, Schmidt. I mean, Lee, they shouldn't be hopeless against lefties. They really shouldn't.
They shouldn't be. Someone
asked about weekends in the park.
Let's see.
Our Eldridge guy.
Oh, there it is. See him. Marty, when are you doing weekends in the park again and other interviews with other visiting baseball?
Yeah, well, the KBR doesn't do weekends in the park anymore. Since I'm only on for an hour on Sunday, it didn't make any sense, to who's going to set up for an hour at 9 o'clock. When I did 3 hours, I would do the first hour in the bunker, and then I would come out and do 10 to 12:45 from the public house, which really was a lot of fun. But KBR changed that. They didn't want to staff it anymore. And my thing is an hour on Sunday. So, for the hour on Sunday, I don't have time to do a lot. I have Mark Simon on. I have the Professor Modus. I got Bruce Jenkins. And then we want to make sure Glenn Kuiper has a voice. So we have him, and that's the show.
Right.
And when Kerry is on, Kerry and I can engage, and we'll do a little bit more after that. But yeah, I don't. Those days are past.
There you go.
Of doing. God, I used to do so many interviews. I was listening to some of them today. Billy Williams talking about Willie Davis, and my God, there's so many Jim Palmer and Ray Fosse and all these people that I would have on from other teams. I found an interview I did with Billy Wagner.
Oh, wow.
First came up. Then I found one when he went to the Mets.
No kidding.
And so I really enjoyed doing all that stuff. And if you go to American Innings, .org and AmericanInnings.org, we've got some of the interviews there. Some of the stuff's there that
you do. I like that one. The story you did on the guy that was in prison. What was his name?
Ron LaFleur.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That was.
I spent a good hour with Ron LaFleur. He was scouted in prison. Billy Martin scouted him, and they took him out. He came out of prison in Michigan and signed with the Tigers, and he was a terrific player.
Right.
Yeah, Ron LaFleur. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked that. That's a good story.
That was a good story.
Those stories.
Yeah, and that's what baseball is, right? That's what baseball's full of. Stories.
Yeah, and they're doing this documentary about me, and the screening is coming up. It's going to be the end of August, and I'll announce it probably tomorrow or the next day. But it's a story of my life as a criminal lawyer and how I started this thing. And there's so many people that were interviewed, and it's really good. It's a documentary, and you can see the trailer if you go to baseballmensch, mensch.com. It's a 7-minute trailer, and the movie's over about an hour, and it's coming out. It's actually coming out. The movie's coming out. It's going to be a big deal probably this week.
Is it going to premiere it or have the screening in San Francisco?
Yeah, the screening is going to be at the Vogue Theater on the 25th of August. But that's unofficial. I'm not announcing it. That's unofficial. At
Gotcha.
7:30. And they're going to send out evites and stuff like that. Yeah, if you click on that, you'll hear.
Yep, there's the little.
And it's good. It's really good. But I'm saying this because people are talking about interviews and things that I did. And when you hear the movie, you'll understand the way I approach baseball.
And that's fantastic. That's going to be great. Yeah, I'm guessing, are you coming to the city for the premiere? I'm guessing, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be a big deal.
Wow, going to walk the red carpet and everything, are you?
Yeah, I told them I want to have, the spotlight in front of the theater. They're going to have it on the marquee and the whole thing. So there'll be more information next week or so coming out about it.
That is great.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. And is it going to be in theaters or is it going to be on the?
Well, they're going to try to get it on platforms to stream it.
Great.
The Amazon and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But there's interest, of course. Local Comcast and I'm sure they'll discuss it with some of the local outlets as well.
That is great.
Yeah, I'd like to see it shown at the ballpark.
Oh, Dan's chiming in. What's up, Dan? Marty Lurie, Giants manager in 2026. There you go.
Only if Dan will be the general manager.
There you go.
This way Dan can trade everybody.
There you go, Dan.
How's Dan feeling about Matos? Is he still? Has he gotten?
He loves Matos. I get it. I understand. He wants to see the young guys. I get it. I can't blame him.
Has Dan gotten over Matos yet?
I don't know. I'll ask him tonight. We're gonna have a show tonight, the hot corner. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you ask Dan about Gilbert too. I want to know about Gilbert.
Sure, absolutely. I'm sure that's going to be the part of the conversation. He says you're hired, by the way.
All right,
Dan
good.
says you're hired.
Dan's a great general manager. Yeah, he is. Dan would be. No one would be there. There was a guy, Frank Trader Lane, in the 50s. When he became the general manager, if there was a 25-man roster, within a 1-year period, 22 were gone.
In other words, don't unpack.
Rocky Colavito and Harvey Keene and that trade, that was Frank Lane all the way. He traded managers 1 year. How about that? It's like swapping wives or something. And the guy, he traded the manager of the Indians to the Tigers for the Tiger manager.
I've never heard of such a thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Frank Lane. So Dan would be another Frank Lane.
There you go.
That's what he would be. So
and Dan says in Gilbert, he sees a lot of dog in him. He says he sees a dog. Is
that good? You mean a Georgia Bulldog or a Tennessee Volunteer? Are we talking SEC here, Dan?
Yeah.
Or are we talking like not a good player?
Yeah, I think he's trying to say he's got some fight in him, right? That's what it is. Got some emotion and fight. Wants to take care of business, so to speak.
Orlando Cepeda told me that Harvey Keene, this is the LD Freitas, Harvey Keene was the best line drive hitter he ever saw. That's how good Harvey Keene was.
Oh, wow.
Harvey Keene was a good manager of the Brewers. That was Harvey's Wallbangers.
The Harvey's Wallbangers.
Yeah. Yeah, he would be in the parking lot before the game with the sausages and the barbecues and knocking down a few beers. And Milwaukee baseball in the 70s was cool.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that was cool. Kipe can talk about that, and I'm sure Glenn can talk about it as well. Yeah,
absolutely.
We do miss Ned Coletti.
Yep.
I wonder what the Giants would look like if they had a guy like Ned Coletti as the general manager.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I mean, he's got a beauty. I know he's teaching. He's loved teaching down in what is that? Southern California, Pepperdine, I think. Isn't that where he teaches? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. Yeah. But that would be different, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would. It would hark kind of back to a little bit to the past, right?
And to Sabian. Mm-hmm. I would love to see Sabian come here and be an advisor. That
would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
wouldn't it? That would be something. Look, both of them got the knowledge of how to approach the game, how to treat people, the evaluation of talent, how it will play in your part. Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, that would be something.
Well, I thought the Giants were going to win today.
I did too. I thought Gore has kind of been on the ropes. He's coming off of the IL. He may be a little rusty. Nope. Not even close. The guy came out throwing darts.
Yeah, he did. That's a good expression. He's throwing darts today.
And
hitting the bullseye. He really, really did. Boy, this thing at home, though, 1-10 at home.
Phew.
1-10 at home, and 7-17 in 24 games. How about that?
What is it? I mean,
we'll see what happens. As people have said, this homestand, this is it. I think this homestand is very important, not to just stay where you, even closer where you are, don't lose any ground. Right. But it's the road trip.
It's not going to be easy.
Road trip.
You're right.
This is the road trip. My God. You can say what you want about Tampa Bay and the Padres at home. They should. Right. course, we keep saying that and it never happens. They should themselves. But it's the road trip. That's tough.
That one's going to be rough. That's why you got to take care of your business at home. You know,
Yeah, they haven't done it.
You're into friendly confines, and you got to get it done.
Yeah. All right. What time are you on tonight, Eric?
Tonight we'll be on at around 8:00. 8:00. You do the hot corner.
Okay. Bryce Eldridge needs a different name, right? It's a lot to say. Giants are done.
Yeah.
Just can't. He needs a different name.
Oh yeah, I know. He's a little
just
bit
something
long.
easier to say. You know,
Exactly.
a little different to say. What happened with the bunker? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
it's the most bizarre thing to me.
Yeah.
Because doing shows out there, I loved going into the bunker and did post games from there. I would do the first hour on weekends in the park from the bunker.
Right.
Will would come in there on Sundays with Carmen and Allie Williams, and we would do the first hour on Sunday from there. FP and I, after the World Series, after when they won down in Texas, we did our show from there. FP disappeared drinking champagne and left me alone right in the bunker doing the show. People calling up, talking about their parakeets and their dogs and how happy they were for them that the Giants won. And it was a great moment. The bunker was great.
Yeah, there was a lot of fantastic moments.
Yeah, it was easy to, you're there and you just walk in the end of the game and you did the show from there. So the Giants, I guess, I'll find out. But it was so bizarre. Why now?
Yeah, a little weird, isn't it?
For guys who are doing remotes from the ballpark, they would store the equipment in the bunker. And when the remote was over, you could go in there and do the rest of your show from the bunker.
As far as logistics, it was fantastic, right? You didn't have to go back to the station and do anything. You could do everything right there from Oracle Park. So yeah, a little bit weird.
This is LD Freitas. Well, LD Freitas is a good listener here. Good memory. Yeah, Willie, how about that when Willie showed up out there? Willie loved Patrick.
Did he?
He liked Pecan because Pecan was from Alabama, Georgia and all that stuff. And he talked Willie's language.
Yeah, you and Pecan had a great show. You guys are always on before. Yeah, it was a good show.
I really enjoyed working with Pecan. Unfortunately, he got caught in the craziness of what audio sounds like today on the Barstool thing when that started. And he made some innocuous comment, it wasn't the end of the world, but they just blasted him and he was done. He was fired by everybody.
Yeah, I know.
But we had a ball out there. And so that's how Adam got his start.
Right.
Because Adam had to come out there to be the engineer. And I said, well, I'm on the air, Adam. Why don't you come on with me? And we brought him on with Carmen. And that's how we did Weekends in the Park. That's how Adam Copeland got his start.
There you go. See, look at that. Isn't that awesome how that works?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
how great.
Yeah, the public house was fun.
Yeah, because you guys would always have a good time. And then again, it was also during World Series runs, so it was a lot more exciting.
Oh, we had people coming out all the time. They'd be walking by. We'd grab them. Johnny LeMaster was on. And just so many different people would come on. And then I'd be signing autographs, taking pictures with dogs and the dog on my lap and all that kind of stuff. It was good. It was good. Those are very pleasant memories. So I'm sorry that, number one, we don't have Weekends in the Park, and number two, that they don't have the bunker. Because that was fun, too, as people would walk by. They'd be waving to you. You'd have the red light on air. And they'd come by and wave at you and bang on the window, and I'd wave back at them and all that kind of stuff. It was good. It was good action. It was good interaction.
Wow. That's crazy how that's going. Was that rented out by KMBR, or was it just the Giants said, hey, you could use this as a...
Who knows?
Don't know. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? Obviously they did a new contract, and probably in the new contract they redid some of the perks that the KMBR would get, and maybe that was one of them.
Yeah, maybe.
They would have a spot. Yeah, Robbie Duvall. He used to come out all the time.
Robbie DeVille.
Yeah, Philip wore my World Series ring. Yeah, I used to wear the World Series ring and take it off. And
let people.
I had it because of the fans. That's the only reason I had a ring.
Right.
And because of the fans. And they would take pictures of it. Did I ever tell you the story of how I got the ring?
No.
Well, do we have time?
We got time.
We have a few minutes. It's our show. Why not?
Why not? You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Gary Radnich, who was very good to me, really was so good to me, and Greg Papa, and I love Pop, and Pop's fighting a real battle now. But Gary Radnich was always good to me. So the Giants win the World Series in 2010, and the whole 2011, his whole thing is, why did Rennell get a ring? Why did Rennell get a ring? Why did Rennell get a ring? Poor Rennell, just trying to do her job. And, she gets a ring. And he says, Marty Lurie should have a ring. Because don't forget, in 2010, that's when I was on 3 hours.
Right.
I was on a 5 or 6 hour post game. It would be like this. It'd be like we would come on and just be on from 7 o'clock till midnight, or from 6 o'clock till midnight. And I was on a lot. Really, me, it was my indoctrination to KMBR and the way I do it, and Brooklyn baseball and New York baseball and all that. So he's going on all year long. Why don't I have a ring? So it comes down to the end of the year, and we're doing a remote from the public house. And I'm on with him. For some reason, I got there early, and he always put me on. And Larry Baer was on too. And he said to Larry Baer, why doesn't Marty Lurie have a ring? And Larry Baer goes, he stumbles around, and it ends there, and we'll walk away, and that was the end of it. And so I get a letter the next day, an email saying from his secretary, from Larry Baer's secretary, what's your ring size?
Oh,
so I thought, hey, that's, a good sign. And I said, I don't know, 11 and a half or something like that, whatever it was. And the whole winter goes by and nothing happens. This is now 2012. And all of a sudden around June, and nothing happens, from September all the way till June of the next year. I said, well, they probably forgot about it and all that stuff. And I get an email in June from the secretary, Terry, and she says, come to Larry's office, at 6 o'clock on Friday night. And I said, this is a good sign. Either I'm in trouble or something good will happen. So I came up to his office. On his desk, they had the box, the Tiffany box, the green box. And he made a little speech, how important I was to the fan base and all that kind of stuff. And he said, we want you to have this. And I opened it up, and there was the ring with my name on it. And
wow.
The whole World Series ring. And it really meant a lot to me to get it at that point, because look, no one ever said, when I did the A's pregame, it was like Lon Simmons. When Lon Simmons did the A's radio for 15 years, when he came back to the Giants, they used to say, where you been? When I did A's radio, they changed stations so much, it was hard to get traction. And, people knew of me, but not like KMBR.
Right.
So it was a validation for the first time in my life that, wow, something I'm doing in baseball is noticed and was appreciated.
That's great.
Because being a criminal lawyer for 25 years before that, nobody ever called you up and said, hey, what a great job you did today. That guy was not guilty of robbery. Or, wow, what a great job you did. He's only doing 7 years for a manslaughter. No one ever called you up to say anything good.
No.
And this was the first time in my life, really professionally, I started in 1970 as a criminal lawyer. This is the first time in my life that anyone ever gave me anything that said, you did a good job.
It
was all because of Gary. If Gary didn't bang on Larry Baer all the time, it never would have happened. And I got the ring, and then there's more to the story of 2012 and 2014.
Absolutely.
It and if they ever get another World Series, it'd be fun. But
I mean, if you think about it, Marty, when you think about KMBR, right? Everyone talks about Kruk and Kipe and Dave and Flem. You're right there, Marty. You're right there. When you're talking Giants baseball, anyone who listens to KMBR and the broadcast, they all know about you. They know about the pre's and the posts.
yeah, well,
You're right there.
A long time, and KMBR's got tremendous reach.
Yes.
It worked, and the Giants won, and people liked it, and I liked it, and I like people. I like when people call in, and you used to call in all the time. I like when Rudy from Tahoe would call in.
Rudy from Tahoe, man, always talking about food, getting me hungry.
From Portland, the Shakespeare guy.
Greg.
That guy. Yep. We had all our Salty for years.
Salty.
God, I felt terrible. I still hear from Salty's family all the time.
Oh, that's great. He was fantastic on the radio.
Liked that connection.
Mm-hmm.
That connection. And that was it. So, people asking.
Asking why you'd stop the postgame. That's just.
It was too much.
Right.
It was how many years? It was a lot. And I had done it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This was after the pandemic. And I just said, I'd rather just do the pregame. And Bill was happy. He couldn't wait to take the postgame. I just didn't want to do the postgame anymore. Yeah.
Understandable.
Just too many hours, because look, I'd be on there at 9 a.m. So I'd be getting ready at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
9 a.m. to 12:40. Then the game 1:05 to 4:30. And then John would come on, for 45 minutes, and I'd get it at 5:30. And I'd take it till 8:30, Raph and I. So now I'm working, getting home at 9:30 and then having to be back there the next day at 9 a.m. or taking it till midnight in the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
Bochy was leaving. And then coming back at 7 a.m. to do the show from the bunker at 9 on Sunday. It was a lot.
That takes a lot out of you.
It's a lot. So I had enough, and this is fine. I'd like to be on more hours, or just Saturday and Sunday. I think continuity would be good, but they want to do it this way, which is fine.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Fine. I'm very happy, and I like this.
Yeah, isn't this fun?
Yeah, and I like being on with you, and this is cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just being
I like live insurance. I miss Midnight Marty. Yeah. They once Larry Bill wanted me to do the show all night long. To Murph and Mac. He did. I was supposed to come on at 7 p.m. and go till 6 a.m. the next morning. I said, how am I going to do that? How am I going to stay up? I don't take caffeine. I don't, with all the heart condition stuff and all that, the atrial fibrillation and all that. You don't want to jack up your heart rate. So how am I going to stay up, all night long? There's no way I was going to do that. So, yeah, he wanted me to go all night to Murph. I said, my family vetoed it, Larry. But
my gosh.
Very good to me.
That's great.
He was very good to me. Mario Alioto as well.
Mario, yeah.
Yeah. So
he
this
left
is
after last year, right?
If you look at the trailer, the baseballmensch.com, when you see this documentary, and I've seen some of the rough draft of it already, the rough cut, all this kind of stuff is in the movie.
That's great.
And
that's great. Yeah.
Said Raph is in it, Murph is in it, Will Clark is in it, John Miller. I mean, there are Bonte, there are a lot of Damon, and there are a lot of people in there. Joe Garagiola, Hunter.
And it's funny because Raph, he knew as soon as I called in, he knew who I was. He goes, "Hey, Eric, what's up?"
We've been Raph and I have been doing this since 2006. I don't know, 7.
Wow. Almost 20.
Raph's going to be 50 this year. So we were doing this when he was in his 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, Raph's birthday is coming up. So Yeah, the comments are great. I like the comments. Best show. Look forward to this all week. Dane.
There you go, Dane Chalk.
Yeah, I hope people are subscribing. It's good, to subscribe. I know Larry and Damon and Glenn, and they're working hard at getting their subscriptions up. And it's good to get the subscriptions up. It helps with the advertisers and all that kind of stuff.
It does. It sure does.
It
And
does.
people are excited. People love listening.
You feel good too, knowing that people are listening. So that's it. That's the show.
That's the show. It was a good one. Hey, Marty, I wish it was a little bit better. I wish we were talking about a win, but unfortunately, the recap, Giants lose 8-0.
And there's 44 more to go. The Mets blew another one. Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh 12-9. So good luck. Zach Littell got crushed in that, I imagine. San Diego won.
Mm-hmm.
The Met thing, who knows what's going to happen there? And then the Cubs are playing. The Giants are still in the middle of all this. And you can decide for yourself what all this means. That's
Right.
your decision. But they are in the middle of all this. And whatever all this is up to you. It's up to you. And it reminds me of something that I learned. In the Jewish religion, when you get married, you break the glass, right? At the ceremony, you step on a paper bag and there's glass inside and you break the glass. And someone said, what does it mean to break the glass? And the answer is, whatever it means to you is the answer. It's the sanctity of the marriage. It's whatever you want it to be, that's what it is. And that's what this baseball season is. Whatever you want it to be, the Giants are in the middle of it. You could say they stink. It's no fun. But you could also say, something? They're 4 or 5 games out with 44 to go, and there's still more going on.
Right. And you got the New York Mets with a silver platter.
Yeah.
Just
Whatever.
giving it.
It's whatever it means to you. And that's the truth. That's the truth. So you can't say, oh, you're crazy and stupid and all that. Whatever it means to you, because that's why we love baseball. It's a marathon. It's not over in a weekend. It's a marathon. That's it. That's the story. It's a marathon. What these ups and downs in May and June and July, and here we are in August, and there's still more to go. There's still more to go. It doesn't end until it ends.
There you go.
It's back with 5 to go. Then it's trouble. This time 1951, 13 and a half games behind the Dodgers. I mentioned it the other night to Gary Pence in the Preservation Society. So that's I know I digressed there, but
no, good stuff.
It's whatever it means to you. And their Giants are in the middle of something. I don't know what you want to call it, but they're in the middle of something. And it's not over yet. All right.
That's great.
Good job. Thanks, Eric.
Right. Thanks, Marty. Guys, we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday. Okay, take care.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you kindly. Enjoy the next week. We've got a whole bunch of baseball to speak on here at Marty and Friends.